Hello, everyone. Chris Glasser here, running for Congress in Michigan's new 4th District, here to talk to you about what I call the skeptic's dilemma. Now, you see, I would consider myself to be a skeptical person. I take everything with a grain of salt. One of those, if it sounds too good to be true, probably is. So I try not to just automatically accept things that I hear, try to look into it. And just, try to be a skeptical person. And that is particularly true when it comes to politicians, right? I take everything that politicians say with a heavy, heavy grain of salt. And so I'm at this point where it's like, okay, well, now I'm a politician. Whether I want to be it or not, I'm running a campaign. I am a politician now. So why should people believe me, right? And I've already encountered that to a certain extent, talking with people, and they're like, well, that's what every politician says. So why should we believe you? And that's a completely fair point. That's a valid point. Now, in general, I believe that actions speak louder than words, right? I don't really care what you say, I care what you do. And so in a perfect scenario, you would be able to look back at my voting history and see if my votes match up with what I say, but I've never been in an elected office before. So you really don't have that. Now, I could go back and say, oh, well, you should believe me because I was an EMT and a firefighter and all that, but that really doesn't mean anything either, right? So it's kind of a paradox that you want to come across as genuine and you want people to believe you, but at the same time, if I were in your shoes, I probably wouldn't believe what I'm saying either. So the best thing that I can think of and the best that I can come up with is just being as honest as I can. Just acting honest, right? Because you can't, tell honesty. I'm trying to just act as honest as I can. Really try not to come off as scripted or just like your normal, I'm a politician, I am for good things and I am against bad things. Trying not to be that. And, if I don't have the answers to something right off the top of my head, I'm just going to say it, right? I'm not always going to be able to have perfect recall. I will address any questions that are asked. They need to be answered, but I might not always have an answer off the top of my head, so I'm not going to act like I do. And so trying to just act as honestly as I can, and then also try to be as detailed as possible when it comes to my policies, right? So like some politicians will be very vague. They'll say, I will increase access to healthcare. Well, that leaves them a lot of wiggle room. They could increase funding by 1% and say, I increased access to healthcare. Well, that doesn't really mean much. So I can try to be as detailed as possible in my policy saying I support X, Y, and Z. So then that doesn't give me any wiggle room. That's what I support. I can't really backtrack on that. So I'm going to try to be as honest and straightforward as possible. I'm going to try not to be scripted and robotic. And be as detailed as possible. Otherwise, I completely understand people that are like, why should I believe you? Because I wouldn't believe me. So it's a very, very difficult kind of situation, but I encourage everyone to be skeptics, everyone to be skeptical, and once again, especially be skeptical of politicians. So I guess make me earn your trust. Sounds kind of weird, but I will try my best to do that.